Okay, here's another voice recording from Congresswoman Susan Davis. Mike McLaughlin.
Well, this is what you're referring to.
Let's start over.
This is Patrick.
This is Mike from Congresswoman Davis.
Hi, this call may or may not be recorded for quality assurance purposes. Sorry.
So I looked over the paperwork you sent to me.
Yes.
And it does not look like it's explicitly a native amortization loan, as you were saying. I see parts of it that may have led you to believe that. For example, on page 3 of the fact, it says, well, this is what you're referring to, the trial period payments, it's sort of forbearance, so the amount does go on to the end.
Yes, sir.
It says, basically, while this will increase the total amount that you owe, it should not significantly change the amount of your modified payment as determined by your monthly gross income. As your payments determined by your monthly gross income, not the loan balance.
But why would anyone in their right mind want to go from a 6.25 fix to something like that? There was no disclosure from Bank of America up front. I know you mentioned a website yesterday, but I started with an outside agency, and they ran off with $2,500 of my money. I informed Bank of America of that. They didn't send anything out to their customers. Please be careful. There's predators out there. And I have that all taped as well. No one has any backing for what they say.
So they also, so I understand, so they can make it as low as 2% for the first 5 years, and then the 6 through 10, it does step up. But the cap is placed based on what the market interest rate is on the day of the modification.
But do you see how fragile of a situation you're putting thousands or millions of people in, the government knowing this up front? Why is there federal guidelines in place? Bank of America pretty much told me that they are not supposed to give any kind of communication with the customer until the loan documents are ready. Like, this is a privilege to us. You're going to basically burn us, and then you're going to burn us twice, and no one has the nerve to speak up. And no one will do anything to fix it.
Well, you know what you're going to know what the market rate is on the day that you sign.
I have a fixed contract. I have a fixed rate, sir. What Bank of America,
on the market rate of that day.
Can I give you an analogy? Bank of America and the federal government, allegedly, everything I say is alleged, are forcing me. I can keep the loan I have. I'm fine. Who knows where the title is? Because who knows? You know what I mean? No one's even. What kind of penalties are they doing for that? They need to reset all the people they've burned with their FICO scores up to 750. They need to show a little bit of responsibility that, yes, we sat there and shredded all these titles illegally, forged documents, and yet you're preaching from the pulpit, learn to live within your means. It's not us, it's the government, allegedly. And no one has the nerve to speak up against it. You want to save money? Make the doctors accountable for every prescription they write. They get door-to-door service in Hollywood. I'm sorry, Michael Jackson died. What a tragedy. How long has the doctor been going to that house, and why did not any of his friends speak up for him? If they truly cared about Michael and not his money, someone would have said something, hey, this is a problem. Or let's go to an AA meeting. Everyone lives in denial, and I refuse to do that anymore. I've lived with AIDS for 25 years. And I just need somebody to hear me once. And they're all afraid. I've asked the president for help. So have you investigated the Bank of America thing? Do you see what I'm going through? Have you watched any of the videos? Have you heard them self-incriminating themselves?
I have not watched the videos.
Recently. I would use the word recently because I have you taped from previously saying you have watched them. So please be careful.
Are you talking about YouTube?
Yes.
Yeah, I've looked at your YouTube page.
Okay. Have you seen the different people? The guy from Channel 9 News basically says the government has given up. And that's out there on the YouTube, and no one from the government wants to speak on behalf of that? I mean, you should really listen to the tapes because it's slamming the government, not me.
Was that the one where you followed the man across the street?
No, that was Channel 10. Yes. And he was parked in the red zone. He needs to donate $500 to some, homeless shelter. That's how much they've gone up with fees. City officials don't pay parking tickets. It's a double standard, just like the steroids and the doctors and the rest of us. If they want to use steroids in sports, fine, let them. Take 40% of their pay and put it towards teachers, education, firemen, and police. People need to start using common sense, and they don't. Allegedly. Everything is alleged. Can you just pass some of my frustration on in a more positive light? I'm not a constant complainer. I'm not depressed, but I've been burned by Bank of America, and no one over there will even step up and speak to me, let alone do a news conference.
I know what you're saying, and I'm just trying to focus on the issue
Okay.
we were talking about, which is the paperwork that you sent to me yesterday.
Yes.
And so I've looked at it, and it's not, to characterize it as a negative amortization loan isn't quite right.
No, it's not the exact terms, but it has the same effect, the outcome, allegedly.
It doesn't vary. I mean, if you know what the market rate is on the day that you're signing it, it's not going to change from that number.
But the Bank of America is putting these loans out there. I'm not late on my payments. I'm not as stressed as some of them. They're in a panic. They have kids, and they're waiting a year and a half to 2 years for paperwork that says, yay, we finally got a loan. We're going to save money. And then, boom, we're adding it to the end of the loan without disclosure, without any kind of responsibility for the banker to be able to get back to me. I have recording after recording after recording, changing phone numbers. I mean, they have their own set of internal games, allegedly, and it's all on tape. And your office has refused to do anything again. I mean, what's the call about? You're going to tell me that Bank of America apologizes and they want to pay off my house? And I would gladly take everything down, but I'm still going to help people that are struggling. I just won't do it in that arena. Bank of America hasn't even tried to approach me. I had that woman, and the reason that woman set me off is because at NASCO, there was an African-American woman there, was running around the shipyard calling me a faggot with AIDS. And when that woman at Bank of America said, you can get a lawyer, but you'll be broke and homeless, that's what pushed me over the edge. But I'm back. I'm seeking psychiatric help. And I'm calm again. I need you to do your job and have government respond to the public. You have a news director of Channel 9 News here in San Diego, KUSI, stating our government has given up. What is Congressman Susan Davis's response to that?
I don't think that we've given any hearings on the Home Affordable Program.
I'm telling you what his opinion is, and he's the director of news. Yeah. Do you see what I mean? No one wants to hear any of what I have to say, because then that would cause people to start looking at their own behavior.
Well, I wanted to follow up with you and understand what we were talking about. See whether you want to go through the trial program, knowing what the terms are. I think in the long run it will lower your payments because it's based on the principle that you wouldn't spend more than 32%
Okay.
income on your.
Would you do me a favor sometime in the future? I still have time. I would like to do a three-way call with you and Bank of America for them to explain everything that's in these contracts that I'm signing. Because they leave everything out, although they say, oh, it's over on my internet page. Half the people that are in that much duress don't have time to be looking here and looking there for a footnote. And that's what I mean by deceptive sales, allegedly. And everyone's in on it, because they're just pushing this down the road 5 years. People will lose their houses in the meantime.
Right. No, I got you. Yeah, we can do that at some point.
Okay, I just want to cover my tail all the way out of this whole story. So if it ever does become a documentary or anyone decides to ever listen. Do you understand the rest of my frustration, how the system is burning Americans, allegedly?
I do. I understand what you're saying.
Okay, thank you. That's all I needed.
You have a good rest
All
of
right,
your day.
thanks, you too. Bye.
Okay, this is just too long and agonizing, but it's coming out, and the truth will be heard. Mike, in this last recording, I heard you state my payment will not go any higher than a certain amount. I also hear you say there's a balloon payment at the end. I also hear you say that the first year 1 through 5 it goes up, and then years 5 through 7 it goes up. You don't even know all the rules. You're just as much in the dark as I am. So we'll just go to court together, Mike, and we'll find out who's doing what to whom.